Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at some rugged travel gear that is tailor-made for adventure. Over the past year, I've taken some trips that have brought me across a number of different environments and climates, and these are the types of items that I love to have with me so that I feel prepared for anything that I might run into. So whether you're looking for some last-minute gift ideas for the traveler in your life or just preparing for an upcoming trip in the new year, these are going to be some excellent items to consider. So really excited to dive in. Before doing so, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel, we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Over the past couple of years, I've really come to appreciate the simplicity and usefulness of a good duffel bag like this hybrid duffel from Filson that I have here. I'm a big fan of Filson's aesthetic. They just have a very timeless, rugged vibe. This definitely feels like an adventurous duffel bag, and it has a very solid build quality. This exterior fabric is ballistic nylon, which is gonna hold up well to rougher usage. You have the very smooth working YKK zippers all around, and then some really nice touches of leather on the zipper pulls on the duffel style handles. So everything just feels very well put together and looks great. And then you have a couple of different ways that you can carry this. You can carry it like a traditional duffel. You have this great leather section here. You can unsnap it to get into the duffel and then keep the handles together. It feels great. And then you also have a detachable shoulder strap that has a nice amount of length so that you can wear this on your shoulder or crossbody if you prefer. You can remove this. And one of the cool things about this duffel is that it also converts into a backpack. So it has shoulder straps that you can hide away on the bottom. And then if you're carrying a little bit more weight, or you just feel like you want to carry it on your back as opposed to a traditional duffel, you can pull these backpack straps out and it converts very easily into a backpack, which I really love because sometimes a duffel style carry isn't the most convenient way to get around. So really love the flexibility that this provides in all three modes. And then this is a spacious duffel bag. It comes in at about 46 liters, which is able to hold all the items that I would normally need for a couple of weeks of travel. 46 liters in a backpack is sometimes a little bit larger than what I like to take with me on a flight. But one of the things that I really like about duffel bags is that they don't have a very rigid structure. So even though the volume is pretty big, they don't look that large, and they're also able to squeeze into tighter spaces than a backpack might be able to. So that's one of the big benefits of something like this. And I've traveled with just the duffel bag in the past, particularly when it has a capacity and a layout like this one. I could toss in a packable backpack on the inside, but duffel bags are actually one of my favorite ways to travel if I'm going with more of a two bag setup. So I can wear my day pack on my back and then carry the duffel bag by the handles or by the shoulder straps. And it's a very versatile system, which I've used a lot over the past year. I've really liked the flexibility that that provides, particularly because duffels for me are really great for holding some of the larger items that normally don't work as well in a travel backpack. So really like the capacity that's offered here, as well as the multiple ways to carry. But one of the other things that really stood out to me with this version in particular is the layout. Some of the duffel bags that I've used over the years can kind of go towards the extremes as far as their organization. So they're either very simple and don't provide a lot of options for the items that you're carrying, so you just end up with like a really big sack. And some of the more modern ones can also go a little bit overboard as far as the organization that they provide, and you end up losing some of the simplicity that I really like about duffel bags. But with this one, I feel like Filson struck a really good balance as far as providing a few useful organizational options without going overboard. So on the outside, you have one external zippered pocket with a nice amount of volume. I'm always a fan of these types of pockets because they give you a lot of flexibility with what you can store. So if you want to place a pouch in there, here I have the Evergood Civic Access pouch 1 liter. All sorts of pouches will fit in here, a jacket, anything a little bit larger, maybe even a water bottle, and lots of flexibility for items that you're grabbing regularly while you're on the go. And then you have a little bit of internal organization, one smaller zippered pocket for chargers, cables. I have my nail clipper set, a deck of playing cards here. And so nothing too crazy, but nice amount of space there. And then on the other side, you have a compartment that's actually meant to be an area to store a pair of shoes. So this is segmented away from the main area, and it's pretty spacious as far as the volume. I have a packable rain jacket in here at the moment, but this could definitely hold an extra pair of shoes while traveling if I wanted to just keep them separate without having to take an extra shoe bag. I also really like having these sorts of compartments to be able to store dirty clothes or wet clothes if I'm going somewhere where I'm, going to the beach or into a pool or something like that. It's just really nice to have this separation, and because it's flexible, it can adapt depending on how you're storing your items. And so 2 really great compartments on the exterior. With this one, you also have some ventilation. So if you are using it to store your shoes or something that's wet, it will air out. So really thoughtful design there. One nice additional touch is that you also have a padded laptop compartment. You have this large zipper that will allow you to easily access your laptop while you're traveling. And so there's some padding on the bottom here on both sides. It's not the most robust laptop compartment, but that makes sense just given the style of the bag. It's good that you at least have an area to store your device. I would be a little bit careful if you're not wearing this as a backpack when placing it down so that you don't damage your device. But when wearing it as a backpack, you can easily get it out to go through security or whenever you need it. And plenty of space there for a 15 or 16-inch laptop. Easily fit my 14-inch MacBook Pro, so great to see that, as not all duffel bags will have a compartment like that. And then moving into the main area, you have to undo these snaps so that you can open this up, and then you have a nice wide opening so that you can easily load and access all of your stuff. Very simple layout here. I currently have my typical travel loadout, so I have my dot kit, a couple of packing cubes from Peak Design, the larger one, the smaller one, and then I threw in an extra packing cube from Arkedo just because I had that extra bit of space with the 46 liters of capacity. Now with everything empty, you can get a better look at the inside. No additional compression straps or pockets here. But again, that's part of why I like using duffels, is the simplicity and flexibility. In addition to packing cubes, duffel bags are usually the type of system that I like to use for when I'm, maybe taking some bulkier shoes, larger items. If I'm traveling to colder climates, I like the flexibility that this sort of compartment provides. So just really well implemented, love the aesthetic. And if you're looking for a rugged one bag travel duffel that can be carried in a variety of ways, this is really going to be an excellent option to take a look at. If you're looking for a capable day bag to pair with their duffel, or just a really rugged all-purpose bag, Filson's Dryden backpack is an option that I have continued to come back to over the past few years, and I appreciate it more and more every time that I use it. I've talked about this in a couple of different videos, but this is just a really functional bag. I really love the kind of classic aesthetic that it offers. Very rugged materials, similar in both aesthetic and build quality to the duffel bag that we were taking a look at. So ballistic nylon exterior, smooth working zippers, accented zipper pulls with the leather, really nice handle at the top, and then really comfortable harness system, well padded straps with a nice amount of breathability. You have a luggage pass-through on the back, which is very spacious. I've used this with a number of roller bags if you prefer that over the duffel. And then the bag just offers a very functional layout. First up, it stands super well on its own. This is one of the bags that does it best. I'm able to place this down next to me, easily access all of the pockets. I really like that this has dual external water bottle pockets. Even though they're not the most elastic, they're actually able to hold the items that I would typically want to carry with me. And then you have a dedicated laptop compartment that's easy to access while traveling. You have a padded sleeve, it's another slip pocket where you could store a tablet if you want to. And then you just have simple quick access pocket on the front with a nice amount of volume for pouches, sunglasses, all types of accessories. You have a little bit of internal organization, a clip for your keys, slip pockets for pen, flashlight, other tech items. And then you have a taller zippered pocket behind that that's going to help separate some of the things that you might have in the main compartment from this area that you want to grab more quickly. And then you have kind of the classic top loading style here and a spacious main area, simple layout. It's going to be great for modular organization. I've also used this as a minimal travel bag. So like I mentioned with the duffel bag, just striking a really good balance of offering enough organization without going overboard, a great aesthetic, and again, if you're looking for just a very capable, all-purpose, rugged bag with a classic aesthetic, this is going to be an excellent option to check out. Whenever I talk about travel essentials, one item that always comes to mind is a reliable wristwatch. No matter where I'm traveling, I always have one of these with me, even in an increasingly digital world where I can use my phone or a smartwatch to tell time. I still really like having something like this Huckberry and Timex titanium field watch because I think that, first of all, it just looks great. I really love the understated look of something like this, very classic appearance that feels great, but doesn't stand out too much. It doesn't feel like it's gonna call a ton of attention to itself, but it's still just a very beautiful, high quality timepiece. You have the titanium case, which feels great, sapphire crystal for the face to prevent scratching. It's got an anti-glare coating, and then the watch includes two different straps. I have the sort of army green olive strap on. It also has a navy blue one. Both colors are really versatile. They match up with a majority of the outfits that I typically travel with, so great that you have two options included. And then as far as the size, this is gonna come in at around 41 millimeters as far as sort of the watch face, which I think is a good size for my wrist. It doesn't feel overly big or too small. I can easily see everything. And then you have some really nice touches as far as the collaboration, the Huckberry logo on the crown that you can also use to adjust the time, the date, and then I am just starting to get my feet wet in the world of automatic watches. I know that there is a big rabbit hole to go into. I've started to experiment with more of these watches and learning how they work. I really love the idea of having something that you don't need to replace the battery on. So this is a watch that you can actually wind. It does have 44-hour power reserve, I believe. And then as you're wearing it, you can see sort of the mechanism here on the back. And yeah, so far it's just been sort of an excellent, reliable staple piece. It doesn't feel overly heavy, and it's got water resistance. So with watches like these that I'm traveling with, I want something that I can take with me anywhere that's gonna look good, that's gonna be able to handle a rougher environment if I'm going into the outdoors. And so this watch feels like it is definitely equipped to do all of that while looking very great, timeless. And so if you're a fan of watches, if you like Timex's aesthetic and you want something that's gonna be with you for a long time to come, this is definitely gonna be a really interesting item to take a look at. The right wallet can really help prevent some big headaches while traveling. Bellroy makes some of my favorite wallets of all time, and I've always been impressed with the variety of wallets that they offer. I really like some of their slim card holders, but recently I've taken a couple of trips where I really could have benefited from having something like this one that I have here. I really like that this sort of offers an in-between of a bifold and a card holder. So it's a little bit thicker, but not by much. It still manages to maintain a modern, streamlined profile. You've got a very nice leather exterior, and then it opens up and is able to handle cash. Now, many places around the world, I've been able to get around with just credit cards, but there's still many locations where cash continues to be very useful to have. And in that instance, having something like this is very convenient, where you can easily store the bills, get them in and out when you need to. And one of the things that I absolutely love about this one is that it has a separate pocket for coins. Recently, we took a trip where we ended up using coins much more than we typically do, and it was a big pain to figure out where to store them and find the coins when we actually needed them. So having a pocket like this that's dedicated for that particular purpose would have been a lifesaver, in addition to having easy access to the cash. And then I really love the card layout that's provided here. You have a couple of slots for your most frequently used credit cards, your ID, and so you can quickly get to those, and then you still have Bellroy's typical ingenuity with the pull tabs if you have some extra ones that you want to store here on the bottom, and all of that without a form factor that's going to be really uncomfortable to store in your back or front pocket. These types of wallets, as they get bulkier, are typically sort of a back pocket thing that I've had in the past, but with this form factor, still very easy to place into my front pocket, which of course is always more secure when traveling. Looks great. This is going to patina super nicely, and so if you're planning for an upcoming trip and looking for a wallet that's going to be able to handle a variety of currencies without getting super bulky, then this has been one of the best options that I've found. This Peak Design aluminum tripod is something that has been on my wish list for a number of years now. I first fell in love with this when Peter McKinnon did an in-depth walkthrough video of all of the functionality that this tripod offers when it first launched. I'll include a link to that in the description below if you want to see all of the things that he had to say about this. And finally, I've had a chance to get hands-on with it, and it has really lived up to the expectations that I had heard from all of the other people that have been talking about this for so long. And so first up, the form factor is really one of the standout pieces with this. It includes a case that's gonna help keep it protected. It's got a nice handle, a couple of attachment points. You can pair it with some of the other things in Peak Design's ecosystem of gear. Well protected zipper here. And this does feel like it's gonna offer a nice amount of padding for it. And then you can open the case up and actually get the tripod out. And it's really just impressive to see how small this thing feels. This is able to easily fit into a variety of water bottle pockets. I was able to store this in the water bottle pockets on the Filson Dryden backpack, which I also featured in this video. Those aren't the largest bottle pockets. They don't have a ton of elasticity, and still this was able to slide in there with no problem. And of course, it's gonna pair well with the water bottle pockets on Peak Design's travel backpacks, their daily bags. And you know, that's really one of the big things for me about this is that ability to transport it. I normally use a Joby GorillaPod to hold my phone or my camera while I'm on the go, just because it's a little more compact, but it could also be a little limiting on where I can actually place my device to capture footage. With this, I no longer have to make any sort of compromises, and you know, it just feels incredibly well built and has Peak Design's typical flair for product design. And so looks great. You have, you know, Peak Design logo, and then the way that the functionality is implemented is just very intuitive. So everything opens up very solidly, rock solid. And then one of the cool things about how the extension is built into the legs is that you can, you know, flip all of the switches open at once, extend it all the way. This actually is a pretty tall tripod, so it gives you a lot of flexibility as far as, you know, the heights that you can get. And then it also has the ability to collapse down if you want to get low shots. And then it includes a built-in mount for your phone that stores in this section here, which is just a really clever idea. Great to have that included. You can also have, you know, the base plate for attaching your camera. And, you know, there are just tons of, I could probably do a whole video just talking about the features that are included with this tripod. The way that the system has been implemented at the top to quickly lock and unlock the head so that you can change the orientation, the angle, and then lock it into place without having to twist a bunch of knobs has been absolutely fantastic. You can stabilize the stand, you know, hang your bag on it so that if it's a little bit windy, you don't want your camera to tip over, you're not gonna run into any issues. And then you can collapse it down, store it in your bag, and you have, you know, a really professional grade tripod that's gonna take up a much smaller footprint than many other similar options. Easy to transport, reliable, and if you're looking for a really durable and innovative piece of gear for the aspiring or professional photographer and filmmaker in your life, then this is gonna be a fantastic option to take a look at. A good jacket is an absolute must-have for me regardless of where I'm traveling, as a jacket will be one of the most versatile items that I'm carrying. As somebody who typically gets cold on flights, the jacket's gonna help keep me warm. That's one of the first things that impacts me when I'm on a trip, or, you know, if I'm in a car where the AC is blasting. It's always nice to be able to be comfortable. And then, as I've talked about in other videos, jackets can be a really great travel hack. A good jacket like this 2-in-1 military jacket from Relwen has a nice amount of pocketing that's gonna be able to handle a ton of different gear that I might wanna have with me that I don't want to place into my bag or into an additional sling bag, something that's gonna get me flagged for, you know, a personal item or for weight. I can use these exterior pockets, which have these nice snaps and plenty of space to store extra batteries, charging cables, a hat, gloves. You have 2 pockets on the front and 2 pockets on the top near the breasts, and then just a lot of flexibility. Sunglasses, my AirPods, they're gonna be able to store in there easily. There is also a hidden zippered compartment on the inside, which is gonna be fantastic for my, you know, wallet, my passport. I'm gonna be able to reach it easily. It's also gonna be secure when I zip the jacket up. And so, really, really nice. Jackets are also very helpful while going through TSA. I always take the items from my pockets, take my watch off, my belt, and I stuff it into all of the pockets of a jacket like this, place it into the bin, let it go through security, and then I can pick it up easily on the other side. No issues, don't have to worry about things getting left behind. So another great use case for a jacket. Then aesthetically, I really like how jackets look, particularly a style like this one. Very timeless, it's just gonna look awesome, particularly if I'm going somewhere that's maybe a little bit more outdoorsy, rugged feeling. This is a look that's gonna blend in very well, and the materials here feel super durable, smooth working zipper, and then one of the coolest things about this jacket in particular is that it is a 2-in-1 jacket. So what that means is that on the exterior, you have this shell that's gonna help keep you protected from weather and wind. And then on the inside, you have this warmer layer that's really soft, and you can actually separate the two. So this on the inside can actually work as its own independent jacket. Same for the outer layer, and then you can combine them to just really be prepared for any sort of environment that you might run into. During one of my recent trips, it was a little bit colder than I was expecting. I would have loved to have had something a little bit thicker like this. I'm just learning more and more about layering as somebody who has always lived in a hotter climate. Traveling to colder and colder climates has definitely been a learning experience, and this is the type of thing which I really wish that I had had with me to just create additional layers and have just a really soft, warm, sort of interior layer to keep me very comfortable and warm. And then, being able to remove these, to adapt to whatever sort of the changes are in the environment when I arrive would have been very helpful. And this is a jacket that fits very nicely. It's not super form-fitting, which is also great if you're traveling somewhere where you're gonna be, kind of adjusting the layers that you're wearing. If you wanna wear an extra shirt, this will be able to handle it. It's not gonna feel super tight and uncomfortable. I really like the elastic cuffs and the area around the neck. Feels great. Very easy to keep everything in place. You also have the ability to tighten everything up to really keep that heat on the inside. And then you can also pop the collar to give yourself some additional protection. So, just really checking off a lot of the boxes for what I'm normally looking for out of a useful travel jacket. And this is definitely something that will keep me warm, that's gonna look great, that's gonna blend into the environments that I typically traveling. And if you want something durable, warm, and flexible, this is gonna be a fantastic option to consider. And so that's it. That's some of the travel gear that will prepare you for adventures in pretty much any environment or climate that you might run into. Hopefully this video was helpful, and if you have any questions on the items that I featured in the video or suggestions for similar items that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I'll make sure to include links in the description below to some of the other roundup videos that I've done recently, including my Buy It for Life gift guide that included a lot of gear that I think would be very complementary to the items that I talked about in this video. I also recently did my roundup video of favorite one-bag travel options for 2024. And I also include links to some of the other gift guides that I've done, my favorite travel clothing, and if you have ideas for other roundup videos that you'd like to see, definitely let me know about those as well. And I want to thank Huckberry for sending the items for me to test out. Huckberry, of course, always has such a great selection of travel and EDC related gear. Easy returns, great customer service, and so if you're looking for these types of items, definitely check them out. And I want to thank you for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.